Hi everybody, it's the Ruthless Jobber here. Welcome back. This is episode 9 of our invasion save using TEW 9, and it's Monday 18th of June. It's time for Monday Night Raw. Start off, as we do now, with a couple of pre-show matches. We've got Jindrak and Stasiak taking on Kai and Tai. I didn't choose a winner for this one, so what have we got? A terrible pre-show match. Jindrak and Stasiak defeated Kai and Tai in 13 minutes 55 when Sean Stasiak pinned Funaki. 45 wrestling rating, 41 crowd, 49 overall. Yeah, terrible. I don't know. Have we had worse? Maybe. Not sure. In a decent pre-show match, so here we had Eddie Guerrero, Lance Storm, and William Regal in a triple threat. I always like to do a couple of decent, or at least one decent pre-show match, really. It kind of rewards the people that have turned up to the arena, paid their money, travelled, whatever. Just something extra special that the people watching at home won't get. Decent pre-show match. Eddie Guerrero defeated Lance Storm and William Regal in 14 minutes 49 when Eddie Guerrero pinned Lance Storm. 68 wrestling, 64 crowd, 73 overall. Pretty good. And then Kevin Nash taking on Rob Van Dam. Yeah, another one really. Another sort of special pre-show match. I was also thinking, let's see what Nash can do. And obviously put him with someone who's a decent worker as well in Rob Van Dam. Decent score. So we know if we ever put these together in a proper broadcast match, we know we can get a half decent score there. So what did we get? Pre-show bout that had great wrestling. Great heat and decent wrestling. Rob Van Dam defeated Kevin Nash in 9 minutes 36 by submission. I didn't choose a winner again. So really pleased that Rob Van Dam got the win there, and Kevin Nash obviously didn't mind losing to him. 70 for the wrestling, 77 crowd, and 76 overall. Pretty decent. Let's go into the main show. And we kick off with some match action, and the tag team titles are on the line. They're not on the line at King of the Ring, so I thought I would do it on Monday Night Raw. APA Protection taking on the Hollies. And what do we get? A decent Wild Brawl. So yeah, had this as our Wild Brawl match. APA Protection defeated the Hollies in 10 minutes 25 when Bradshaw pinned Hardcore Holly with an aided powerbomb. APA Protection make defense number 2 of the WWF World Tag Team titles. I had a comment on one of my videos a while back. I didn't quite understand it. Someone commented, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was. I've only just realised. APA Protection is the Acolyte Protection Agency Protection. Now I get it. Now I understand what he was saying. And do you know what? This was in the mod. I haven't changed this. So I didn't name them the Acolyte Protection Agency Protection. This is what the mod came with. So yeah, it doesn't kind of make a lot of sense, does it? But anyway, what do we get? We've got 57 wrestling, 56 for the crowd, 66 overall. Not a bad start, but yeah, not great either. So yeah, this was defense number 2 of the tag team titles for APA. And then we've got Vince McMahon, and he is in the ring. Sorry, no, he's not. He's backstage with The Rock, and he's just sort of talking to The Rock, and he's saying, you can be the hero. You can be the hero for our company, the hero for our industry. You can be the one to wipe away the WCW from the earth. He's going over the top, Vince McMahon. He doesn't not just from the WWF, just wipe them away from the earth, from the planet. We don't need them. WCW, I've beat them once. Let's beat them again. You're the man to do it. The purpose of this really, first of all, to get a really good rating and hopefully get some heat on a couple of these storylines. They've all advanced, but didn't get any extra heat, which is unfortunate. But also, Vince McMahon's a heel, and we wanted to turn him. And I know it's not like the biggest sort of turn in the world, but we just wanted to turn him face, and we're going to do that now. And let's see what we get. Yeah, complete success. I thought it might be, but yeah, it just makes sense to have him as a face because we've obviously got Shane and Ric Flair, the heels for WCW. Yeah, just turn him face just to kind of make a little bit more sense. Big Boss Man takes on Chris Benoit. I'm pretty happy with the score on this one. A decent match. Chris Benoit defeated the Big Boss Man in 14 minutes 50 when Big Boss Man was disqualified when Steve Austin ran in and attacked Chris Benoit. The match was designed to be chaotic and full of action in order to get the crowd going. During the match, we also had Triple H distract Benoit. Wrestling of 60, crowd 68, and then 70 overall. Yeah, quite pleased with that. Unfortunately, the storyline lost heat, though. Post-match, Triple H, Chris Benoit kind of motions to Triple H and Steve Austin, the whole I've got a belt around my waist sort of thing. And Triple H tries again. He tries to attack Benoit, but he fails this time. Chris Benoit kind of gets the better of him. And that's when Steve Austin sort of comes in again and gets involved, and they beat Benoit down. Rating of 80, and this time the storyline gained heat, so that's all good stuff. We've then got an angle with Kane. This got a really poor score. I'm disappointed in that. Basically, he's holding a vigil for the Undertaker. There's kind of a shrine to the Undertaker. Sort of photos of him. Maybe his bike is there as well. This was an outside broadcast as well, so it's not kind of like in a locker room or anything. It's somewhere like a studio built set. And then Jindrak and Stasiak come along and sort of trash it and beat down Kane. And then the Hardy Boys come out just to make the save. So just to sort of keep the storyline going. But as I say, not happy with that score of 52. I do want to have a quick look at the dirt sheet, really. Just what kind of went wrong there? Why did we get... I know Jindrak and Stasiak aren't the best in the world, but neither are the Hardy Boys really, but... Morale. Okay, morale seems to be a bit of a problem. Probably the main problem. Yeah, okay. Gonna have to look at that. It's not great. Christian takes on Dean Malenko. This is his quarter-final for King of the Ring. Already really confident that he's going to go through. Edge has already arranged a singles match for King of the Ring for himself. We've got a decent match. Christian defeated Dean Malenko in 13 minutes 31 by pinfall following interference from Edge. So Edge wanted to make sure. No wonder he was so confident that Christian would go through. He basically made sure that Christian went through. 58 wrestling rating, 62 for the crowd, and 67 overall. Mick Foley cuts a promo on Diamond Dallas Page and Chuck Palumbo. It looks like I need a photo for Mick Foley. Yeah, this is following the sort of launch party for his book that was ruined, so he's cutting a promo on them. And then in part 2, we had Palumbo and O'Haire come out and attack Mick Foley, and then the Dudleys come out and make the save. I haven't gone into too many details here, but basically this is what's happening. And then sort of the WCW guys, so DDP and Palumbo and O'Haire, kind of retreat, heading back towards the ring, and that leaves Dudleys and Foley to sort of cut another promo on them. Rating of 66. Although the storyline did gain heat, so that's okay. I can't be too disappointed. Just would have liked maybe something a bit better than 66. I wonder what sort of someone like Mick Foley would get on his own cutting a promo, because I imagine he's awesome on the mic. Without looking at his stats now, I'm not 100% sure, but he must be. The Hardy Boys then take on Chaz Warrington and Simon Diamond. This was just to get the Hardys on the card, give them a match. And because we don't, again, really use them very often. It's the tag team division, which I struggle with in most of my saves, it appears. Need to get more over. It would be nice to have, 3 or 4 major stars as tag teams. But at the moment, we're not there. So it's just about giving them wins. So what did we get? In a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling, the Hardy Boys defeated Chaz Warrington and Simon Diamond in 6 minutes 53, when Matt Hardy pinned Chaz Warrington. Simon Diamond was the weak link. Okay, it doesn't really matter. They are literally brought in as jobbers. We don't have any plans for either of them. Wrestling was 48, crowd was 48, and overall 60. That's not bad overall score, considering these two here were 48 apiece. Okay, what did we get as well? It didn't help that Chaz Warrington and Simon Diamond didn't work well as a team, but okay, the purpose of this really, give the Hardys a win. Oh my god. Wow. A 34 rating for a Dean Malenko taped promo on Lance Storm. That is absolutely awful. I know it appears he's not great on the mic, and maybe I need to book this storyline a little bit better, or just scrap the thing, but 34. He must be as charming as a rock. Not the Rock. Wow, that's really bad. And then we've got Kane. It's a kind of, I thought I'd put in something a little bit different. It's a special entrance for his match. And what I mean by that, we haven't gone really elaborate, but there's maybe a little bit extra pyro, a little bit extra fire in the ring. He's angry. He's furious about what happened earlier, and he's sort of pointing to his opponents. I say opponents because he's got a handicap match in the ring, and I'm after you. That's it now. His opponents aren't who you think they are, but yeah, he's obviously furious at WTW. He's furious at what happened earlier. So it's just kind of, a little bit of extra pyro, maybe just to sort of show that anger, that fire in Kane at the moment. 66 overall. And in the match, yeah, he takes on Buff Bagwell and Hugh Morris, and we get a decent match. World Championship Wrestling, Buff Bagwell and Hugh Morris defeated Kane in 16 minutes 2 seconds. Buff Bagwell pinned Kane following interference from Sting. Well, of course, we had to get Sting involved. The match was designed to tell a specific story. Kane carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. I was going to give Kane the win, and then I just thought, you know what? Let's get Sting involved. Let's have him interfere, and let's see if Kane will allow him, sort of agree to take a loss against one of these guys. Yeah, so Buff Bagwell getting the win. 58 wrestling, 66 crowd, 65 overall. That's pretty poor. I'm not happy with that at all. Really need to be saved here by the main event, which actually I'm taking a risk on again tonight. We then got a promo from Booker T, and Canyon is in the ring with him, sort of just acting all intimidating, really. But it's a promo on the big show, and then The Rock appears and cuts a promo, slamming the WCW. Just sort of, he's been asked, well, not asked, but encouraged by Vince McMahon to be the hero against WCW. So he's come out here to kind of get back at Booker T and Canyon. This gets a rating of 69. It's not great. We also had Ric Flair come out and give a chair shot to The Rock from behind. So yeah, just to sort of advance this storyline along the big show one, really. We wanted to sort of get that going. I thought maybe stick The Rock in there and Ric Flair might boost the score a little bit. But yeah, it hasn't done great. I think there is an issue with morale, and I need to fix that. And I don't know how, because this is the roster, right? And I think in this era, it may have been a bit like that. People didn't like each other. People just did what they wanted. It was a whole different world. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fix it yet, but we'll try to do something. Okay, our main event. Well, it did pay off. Chris Jericho's awesome. I know that, but you never know what you're going to get with someone like Albert, just a sort of general mid carder. So yeah, Jericho and Albert in the main event. About that had good heat and decent wrestling. Chris Jericho defeated Albert in 9 minutes 34 by submission, and this was a steal the show match. So 65 for the wrestling, 75 for the crowd, 82 overall. Yeah, there was no build to this. There was no story around the main event here. We sort of had other things going on, and it's just a case of put on a good match for the main event. And I'm glad. I'm glad it paid off. I think I said last week or in the last episode, Kane appears to be used in nearly every main event we've had so far on Raw. So yeah, just trying to mix it up a bit, really. And again, I know I've said this, and I will say it again, just to sort of remind people. Once the WCW guys are actively in the ring, as regulars, we can start mixing up these main events a lot more and start doing a bit more build to them. So let's see what we get for the overall match. No, I was going to say the overall show. I meant to say, but I'm actually wrong because we've got another segment. Vince McMahon. Yes, I forgot. I put this in last minute. We had a few sort of minutes to spare, and it's kind of a Vince McMahon in the backstage, sort of in his office maybe, and he's just cutting a promo mainly on Ric Flair, and he's just sort of telling the audience, I'm going to do whatever I can to rid the WWF of Ric Flair and WCW. Ric Flair's under contract at the moment. I can't do anything about that. That is like set in stone. I was the idiot that employed him, but now I'm going to be the idiot to wipe him away from this industry. Rating of 63. Yeah, another disappointing one. I thought Vince would have been a lot better on the mic. Now we can see what we get overall for the show. And 70. That's poor. Compared to what we were getting, I'm not happy with that. The storylines, yeah, we had a couple lose heat. I'm really disappointed with that. It's King of the Ring next, and we are Let's do the post show stuff first, and then I'll take you through the card, and I want your predictions. Financial report made nearly 200, nearly 250,000. Yeah, popularity report. Oh, this is gonna look bad, isn't it? Oh, look at that, all that red. Although it did go up in Central Europe. So here's the card for King of the Ring. I know most of these matches haven't had any build or anything, and they do look pretty random. But the main thing here really is, the sort of King of the Ring finals. We've got a title match, a couple of belts on the line. Yeah, so it's still a very early save. It's still a very new save. Things will, get a little bit more developed, get a little bit better as time progresses. And as I say, once the WCW guys are kind of fully integrated as well. But let's run through the card then, and I want your predictions. The title is on the line as champion Steve Austin defends against Chris Benoit, and the Intercontinental title is also up for grabs as the holder Triple H takes on Rikishi. The hardcore title as well, Rhino will defend that against Raven. And we have the semi-finals of the King of the Ring. Kurt Angle taking on Rob Van Dam. Christian taking on Eddie Guerrero. We will obviously have the final as well of this tournament. Also, Chris Jericho taking on Edge. Hopefully that'll be a good one, actually. I think maybe Kane will take on Sting at King of the Ring. That's probably a biggie, actually. I certainly hope we get something good out of that. The Hardy Boys take on the Hollies, and Albert and the Big Show will take on the Dudley Boys. Just a couple of token tag team matches. Yeah, it's not a great card. Yeah, as I say, it's still quite a new save. I'm certainly hoping that things are going to sort of improve. SummerSlam, maybe. I'm kind of eyeing SummerSlam for being the show where WCW will be on equal footing in terms of numbers. We'll have more WWF versus WCW matches on that card. I mean, it's SummerSlam, right? So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Please give a like and subscribe. Join me for King of the Ring. Doesn't look overexciting, but you know what? We're just building a few things here. Kane and Sting still going. I'll see you all again soon. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.